So welcome, Mr. Moti Gur. He's a financial services advisor, has his business, and he's also a real estate investor. Thank you for being here, Mr. Gur. So let's start out right away. Let's start out right away. Where did you where were you born and where did you grow up?
I was born in Israel, and Israel is we'll talk about it in a minute. And growing up, went to a technical school, then to a military, went to
Mhm.
the paratroopers, and wasn't easy. And finished. My mom used to work in New York, used to live in New York. So after the military, I worked for a while. Then I kind of flew to see her in New York, travel around the United States.
Okay. So
Uh,
so just real quick, because you're going by a lot of time periods. So you went to like a public or private school in Israel?
no, Israel, it's a public school and public high school. It's a the high school is technical. It's called ORT. I think that there is in the United States also some technical schools like that. They are more technical. They're not. Um, it's kind of. I'm more tilting toward the fixing things because I was born in a farm in Israel, and in a farm you constantly have to fix up the tractors or whatever that, and so I got I got to work with it and fix up a lot of those.
Okay. So then you said you were in the military, you were a paratrooper?
Yeah, I was in a special force in the military,
For how
and
many?
Israel, it's tough because over there you fight. You're not. You actually have because um, I mean, we'll talk about Israel situation in the Middle East in a few minutes, but you fighting, and everybody has to go to the military. Everyone must go.
Everyone,
Uh,
okay. And so then required is how many years?
my time was 3.5 years.
No, but everyone's required for how much?
Yeah, I think that some of them three. It's changed all the time based
Uh,
on how women. I think it's or 2.5 years. Guys, another year.
okay, okay. And then were there any were you there's been a number of conflicts, a number of wars. Were you involved in one of the specific wars that were multi-years?
I was. You have to know that the war over there is ongoing all the time. There is no. Sometimes it's escalate more and goes down a little bit and escalate more. But uh, for example, some missions to stop it and based on intelligence and all that thing. So different missions to stop or we used to do ambush when we know there's some terrorists coming infiltrate into Israel. So they tell us, oh, they got if we had the right intelligence, we had to ambush them and those kind of things. It's you don't in Israel in United States you almost don't even have an idea how how uh, how it is to really to protect that tiny place. Israel is smaller than New Jersey. It's a small country, and it's surrounded around with 22 Arab country. They are 800 times bigger than Israel, and those countries they are Muslim country. In fact, there is like other countries that they are Muslim, like Turkey is a Muslim country, Iran is a Muslim country, and it's Iran is a Shia, while all the rest of them are Sunni. And it doesn't matter if they are all Muslims and they are uh, praying to the same ideology, the Quran has the same ideology. In the ideology, most of the Quran, in the Quran, there is 6,666 verses. But most of those verses, they don't mean, you can interpret it the way you wish. Only 124 verses are very tight and very clear, and you cannot really interpret it any other way. In those 124 verses, calling Muslim, not calling them, ordering Muslim to kill infidels or non-believers, so they calling infidels kofrim, it's a different name, but they says go and kill infidels wherever they hide. And they even says over there, if the infidel is hiding behind the rock, even the rock will tell you to go behind me and kill the infidel, like that, the kufrim. And there's all kind of saying how to kill. It's very graphic. It telling the Muslim, chop off head, chop off hands, chop off fingers, legs, everything. They're very graphic. And then the verses are calling the Muslim, and they say, Muslim that do not participate in the slaughtering. Slaughtering, the chop in Arabic is katalum. So in Arabic, so Muslim that do not participate in the slaughtering is a hypocrite, and Allah will send him to hell. I mean, they're scaring them. To some Muslims, they're scared. They go and join terrorism just because they get scared from those verses. But this is the type of ideology that did 9/11. They did Boston Marathon, and constantly fighting, or did thousands of terror attack in Europe and some here. But in Israel, it's constant. You almost every day have a few terror attack or attempt. Now Israel has become like very good about stopping them, but you know what? It's a number game, and you have a few Muslim terror attack, and you stop them, but one of them is you didn't stop it, or for some reason, and people die, and that's how it is. The Muslim, they don't care. They don't care to die to kill others.
All right. And why do you really think? Why do you really think that there are attacks?
It's the ideology. They don't want. I'll show you the map for a second. Okay, I have a map behind me so you can see, and I hope you can see it. Like that.
Okay, so I get here's a better question.
Okay.
Here's a better question. There's peace in many parts of the world. There's Muslim communities where there's a lot of peace around. Why do you really think there's so much violence in your country? Near your country.
Israel is in a location where it really is not allowing Islam to, or not allow, but Israel is infidel country for them. That's sitting over there, and it's also democracy. Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East, the only place in the Middle East where women have rights, when gay and human rights. They are the only place where there is freedom of speech. Israel is the only place where there is freedom of religion. I mean, they don't like it. They don't like it. It's against Islam. They don't like that people believe freedom of religion, freedom of speech. They don't like liberal life, like that. Women don't have. Women in Islam they shouldn't have right. They don't have. That's how they see it. That's their ideology about Islam is not really a religion. Islam is a political ideology dressed like a religion. It's not really a religion because they're asking them to go and kill people and take and dominate the world and all that thing. So it's affecting. But I'm going to see if I can show you the map, and you will see. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to try to to get that map.
Okay, I mean, I can see.
You see
We can
that?
see. We can
You
see.
see that yellow?
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
see how tiny it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's sitting over there, right in the middle over there. All the green that you see is Arab countries and a Muslim country. They want to uh, control the area. So sorry
So,
about it.
so, there's been ongoing conflicts. What do you think is the biggest misconception that people in the United States have about the conflicts in that region?
There is a few. One of them, they have no clue about the history of the area. They have no clue. And for example, like you probably heard a lot about from the river to the sea, free Palestine. This is uh, this is insane because people don't. If you ask them what river or what sea, they don't know. And I heard on TV, I heard some people say, "Oh, it's the Red Sea, it's the Black Sea." They have no clue what river. Some of them think it's a mountain. Over the years, when the Roman came,
Can you repeat what is the misconception about the body of water? You said again.
they have no idea about the history of, because talking about the issue today without understanding the history is useless, because you really need to know all the agreement and all what's going on. But Israel, the region in 2000 years, we'll go back for a second to 2000 years ago when the Roman came to Israel, and somewhere about 100 after BCE, not BCE, CE, 100 years later, they decide to change the name. They came up and they decide uh, to completely erase the Jewish people, erase their ideology, their tradition, their religion, their everything, the Roman, because they were upset because there was some uprising at that time. And there was first there was a Roman general by the name of Titus, and he was pretty vicious. He destroyed the temple. He destroyed many things in Israel. In the whatever was Jewish over there, he erased, and he changed the name of Jerusalem to Lia Capitala. And he changed the area, the region, which was at that time was not like really a country. It was just a territory called Palestine. Palestine is a Greek name. It doesn't have nothing to do with Arabs, so there is no Arabs. By the time that was around 100 CE, but and the region was like that. But because of the Roman was so vicious, killing people, one of them is probably, Jesus. They were killing a lot of them, thousands of them. So many of them ran away from there. Okay. So nobody could fight the Roman. So the name Palestine stayed. But it's in 19, and then it was like a lot of thousands of years, there was a lot of people came, the Persian came, the other people, the Greek came, Syrian came over there to control Israel and gone. And then in 1517, the Turkish came and they controlled the Ottoman Empire, controlled the area until World War One, where the Turkish was joining the Germany, and the Britain came over there. The British came over there and took over and controlled with the mandate, and they took over the control of Israel and control of the area. Originally, in 1917, the British came up with it's called the Balfour Declaration, and they says this is going to be the homeland for the Jewish people. But then, 5 years later, they had a lot of problem over there on the field, and the British general, they thought that they have an opportunity because of the oil, and they gave to one of the sheikh over there, the Arab sheikh by the name of Faisal. They said, you know what, we're going to give you part of the land of Palestine, and we're going to make a deal with oil and all that things. And they made him a king of Transjordan, which is and they divide in 1922. They came with the League of Nations. The British came with the League of Nations to San Remo, Italy, and they made the decision to have a two-state solution. They took Palestine territory and they divided. East to the river, they gave it to Jordan, and they call it Transjordan, and west to the Jordan River, to the sea, to the Mediterranean, they let it for the Jews, and that was Israel. The Arab didn't want anything to do with Israel, and they want nothing to do with it. So the British says, you know what? You have to agree on some kind of partition of the land. Otherwise, the border is going to stay the river. The Arab didn't want to deal with any of this. They didn't want Israel. They try constantly to. They says we're going to throw the Jews to the sea. So anyway, in 1948. Israel declared independence. And the next day, the Arab country went to war against Israel. And they took the Judea and Samaria, the area, and Jerusalem, the East Jerusalem. They took it. They conquered it. They occupied it. The Jews didn't have enough power to control that area, so that's how they did. But they were not happy. And they were not happy. In 1967, they put all their troops next to Israel, and they were ready to throw the Jews. And I remember I was 17. 1967, they wanted to throw the Jews to the sea. And they brought troops from all over the Egypt, from the south, Syria, and Iraq and Jordan, and they decide to do it. What? Israel, in 6 days, completely destroyed them. They were not ready for Israel to be so strong. And they took the Judea and Samaria and back to the Jordan River and Gaza, which was original Israel. But in 1948, they decided to take it. So 1967, and Israel is Israel. They took their own land back from them, but the Arabs are unhappy, so they keep on. They find out that they cannot win the war against the Jews with war, so they decide that they're going to do terrorism. So they non-stop terrorism against Israel. They're killing people. They're suicide bombers. They go on buses and blow up and all kind of things like that for years. Israel tried to have peace with them, but this is ideology that they hate. You know, when you take babies, don't come to the world with hate. You know that. Baby come to the world. You have to brainwash them to hate someone. And that's what the Arabs doing with their kids, with their babies. From day one, they brainwash them to kill them. So this is where the thing is. Now, come come Biden and tell Israel you have to create a Palestinian state in your country. Remember, this is smaller than New Jersey. You know, Israel fit inside San Bernardino County twice. Think about it, putting over there in half of San Bernardino, two states. It's impossible, especially when the Palestinian country, people.
So, okay, so Mr. Gur, your solution is
My solution is that one of the Arab countries will accept those people, Jordan or one of them, because they don't have Israel is an independent country, is sovereign country, and you cannot make an in the middle of a country another country. It's not going to happen. You can have authority or some kind of emirate, but you cannot have a real country where they have their own air force and in a small country. It's insane. And especially when the Arabs are not like coming up and says, "Oh, let's live in peace." They says, "We're going to kill you," you know. So you so what Biden wants Israel to create an enemy state, a terrorist state. He wants to reward terror, with giving them a state. So if he wants to reward terrorists, like that, why he is not going to invite them to live in Michigan or somewhere where there is a lot of Muslim there, and you can do that. But it's insane to have Israel with a Palestinian state. It's not going to happen. I can assure you.
okay. So I appreciate
Yeah.
your perspective. I appreciate your
Yeah.
perspective. I do not think that will happen.
It's
But I
not going to
appreciate.
happen.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
So
I mean,
if that doesn't happen, what's Plan B?
Plan B is the really some one of the Israel is so small they don't have a land for another country. But Jordan, for example, which is huge, let's see, Jordan compared to Israel, I think it's about 4 times bigger than Israel, and there are only 4 million people there, or 4.5 million people. They have a lot of empty land over there. I mean, you're driving for hours inside Jordan, you don't see anything. Once in a while, you see a camel, but you don't see anything. And they should take space and give to the Palestinian land, for somewhere they have over there so much land. I mean, they're bigger than Israel 800 times, and they have to come up with a solution. The Arab country, not Israel.
Okay.
It's the only Jewish country in the world. Not, I mean, you have 59 Muslim country in the world. Israel is the only Jewish country, the only ancient country in the world. King David was the king of Israel from Jerusalem at that time, 3,000 years ago. And Jerusalem was the capital of Israel. He was the king over there. I mean, that was 1,600 years before Muhammad was born, the founder of Islam. So,
Okay. So once again, your solution is to get all the Palestinians and move them all to Jordan, a whole population.
Yeah, anybody who wants to live in his own country, let them have their own place, and this is not something new. I mean, America didn't do a transfer to the American Indian, of course. India transferred the Muslim to Pakistan, and Pakistan transferred the Hindu back. Millions of them transferred from. There is many places where there was a transfer.
So you think it was okay that the British and the Americans and Europeans move the Native Americans to reservations in the Midwest?
I don't say because I don't say it because that was in my view is wrong because the American Indians was not uh, dangerous to America. They were not causing any dangerous. I mean, they lived their own life. They didn't cause any problem. Why did they want? They want their land. They want what? Because you want the land. But Israel, the Arabs over there, they really have a very powerful. They're causing. Look what's happened on October 7th. They are really want to destroy the country. This is their goals: is to destroy Israel, to kill the
Okay.
Jews, destroy the country.
So just last question on this.
Okay.
So if the Native Americans had better support and better ammunition, then you think it would have been not okay for the Americans to overtake them and push them to reservations, right? That's what you
No,
think?
American Indians, they didn't have an ideology to kill America. American Indians,
Or
they
the
just,
resources, or the
uh,
resources, or the resources.
yeah,
Yeah, they didn't have the so
they should be an American like everybody. They should be have all the right, all the freedom, all the right, and all the opportunity, and all the justice that every American deserves. And I don't think because the American Indian in general, they're good people, and they don't want to destroy America.
okay,
It's not like like the Arab wants to destroy Israel.
okay. All right. Well, all right. I appreciate it.
It's a complex,
Okay, I see.
very
Yeah.
complex.
All right. Now, how about you? You also have some strong views on the Democratic Party and woke ideology.
Very much so. I mean, very much so. I am.
Can you be specific? Specific.
I'll be specific. You know that America was established on the American idea, established on the American idea of freedom and individual freedom and liberty. And yes, this is how and the Judea and Christian Judea values. And it's like it says on the dollar, in God we trust, and God was very, very strong in the people who found America. The presence of God was very strong in America. And look what's happened to I understand there is left, there is Democrat, there is, but they're crossing the red line a long time ago. They don't, I mean, they cannot accept the fact that men cannot be a woman. It cannot be. I mean, I don't care what they can call him. You can put a lipstick on a pig; it's still a pig. I didn't say that, but this is how it is. You cannot put a lipstick on a man and think it's a woman. It's not a woman. It's still a man. I
Mhm.
don't care what they're gonna do, and I don't care what kind of surgery they're gonna go through. But the fact is that it's now Democrat, and we have in America 8 years old that going through a sex change. I think it's the Democrat. They're not only anti-American; they are also anti-Christians or Christianity. They are anti. That's my belief. I'm Jewish, and I'm saying this. This is anti-Judaism, anti-Christian. To take children 8 years old, 9 years old, 10, 12 years old, and push them into a sex change, it's evil. This is how I see it. I mean, they can say whatever they want. That's one point that's I think, or the way they're teaching them and brainwashing them in schools about sexuality at early age is anti-Christianity, and I'm strong. I think that kids need to learn. Look, I went to school in a small farming village in Israel. and we had to stand up when a teacher would come to the room. And we had a strong emphasis in the class to use our own brain. We had homework every day. We had to use our brain to think, to solve problems. We cannot just memorize things and think we know. It's not like that. We have to use our brain to learn how to solve problem and how to figure it out problem with our own.
Okay,
And
so so
that's,
so so
yeah,
so you're bringing up the sex changes, and
yeah.
and I don't even know what is the legal age. Do you know what is the legal age that you can actually have a operation to change your gender? Do you know?
And I think that the legal age is 18. So
Okay.
somebody is 18 and says, "Hey, I want to have that minimum." And second thing is, I'm just gonna um, move to that Biden sending the FBI after parents is is it's totally out of the chart of logical. It's insanity. A parent is the parent of the kids, not the nobody else. There's somebody is going and the parent wants to question the state why they teaching something or uh, against America, and they teaching them the critical thinking, all those things that I forgot all the name, C and some kind of theory against America. It's I'm very very much against that. But they have, I mean, all those the basic value. Kids need to learn how to think for their own, and not that the teacher is going to tell them what's going on. That's why we have in Harvard University, they're going out to the street to protest against Israel. They have no clue about what's going on over there. And you think that somebody is paying to millions of dollars to teach, to send their children to good schools, and the kids are going out to the street to ask from the river to the sea, free Palestine, but he doesn't know what river, what sea, what's going on. And this is Harvard University, or the president of those universities are saying that it's okay to call to murder Jews. It's crazy. It's against America's value. It's against what America stands for. And so I'm very much against all those liberals movement, all those woke movement. Yeah.
Okay, so what you feel is destructive is the ability of someone to have an operation to change their gender or change the physical organs, right? And you're again, and you don't like that there's people that support the Palestinians in the conflict
No,
with
because
Israel. That's very
no,
clear.
because Israel, they already uh, decide about they took the territory, and they says this is Palestine. This is the territory of Palestine, and then they divide it. They make a decision to divide it in the middle to have a two-state solution, one for the Arab, one for the Jews. And they divided already in 19. They decided in 1922
Yeah.
on that territory. So now they didn't want the Jews. So now they decide we're going to. Now Transjordan got 78% of the territory. Israel 22%. Why if it wasn't like 50-50? So they should do something.
Okay, I mean, you want freedom of speech. You like the idea of freedom of speech,
Yes.
yes, and so um,
Freedom of
that
religion.
that's their freedom of speech, right? They're expressing their freedom of speech. Unfortunately, it's disagreement with yourself and with many others.
Yeah.
Um, What else do you think is in this country? In this country, what else would you say is destructive with what you call the woke agenda?
There is a lot of things that's going on here. I'm very much um, against weaponizing the FBI and the DOJ to Biden send them against his opponent. It's unreal, unreal that somebody ran to be an opponent for Biden, and he's going after him. You know, having like 100 different lawsuits that have no nothing even close to anything that is real, you know, like that. But just to make his look good to the people. The other hand, this is big, and I know we're going to go back to it. But for the other hand, opening the border is absolutely insane. Opening the border, you know, I came to America, and I feel America is my home. And uh, and in my home, I have a door. Somebody want to come here, you're going to call me. I'm going to come, knock on the door. I'm going to find out who he is. I'm going to decide if to let him in or not. America is my home. I want to have a door. And just like I had to go through all the process to become an American, I want everybody to go to get the process, not just walk in. And there is drugs coming in, trafficking of children and women for sex is coming in. By the way, some 250 or 300,000 Americans die from those drugs, and there is a lot of crime, and people die for on the way to come here. And we have criminals, we have terrorists, we have no idea, and they're all over America. We have no idea. We'll pay the price for it, and we're going to pay a bloody price for what Biden is doing. And I believe he's doing it because he wants them to vote for him. I don't know how they're going to do it legally, but I don't think he allowed to have illegal people to vote. But he's going to do it because, you know, that's how it is. This is one thing. The other thing is shutting down the American energy.
What?
It's the American energy, shutting down the drilling oil. And, you know, it's oil is not just for our car. It's a small percentage for our car. We have trains, we have ships, we
1 minute
have
left.
ah
1 minute left for the Zoom. It's gonna end in like 45
yeah
seconds.
okay. There is a lot of stuff, trains, all those things need tractors, all of them needs the oil.
Okay.
So
Are you opposed to developing renewable energies?
the
Renewable energy, solar,
no, I'm not,
nuclear.
but I don't think we should shut down oil. To develop it, it'll take time. But you cannot put 747 on the air with batteries. It's not going to happen. You need the fuel. You cannot really drive a train with batteries. It's not going to happen. You cannot take the tractor or a health moving, you know, those DC-9 and all those big, they need huge power. They need oil. They need fuel that, you know, like that.